This map shows the staggering reach of the Mughal Empire. Under Aurangzeb, they consumed almost the entire Indian subcontinent. Look closely at this eastern frontier. The Mughals targeted the northeast to seize the rich agricultural bounty and highly lucrative trade routes of the Brahmaputra Valley. To secure a quick victory, they brought an overwhelming force, tens of thousands of infantrymen, elite Turkish cavalry, and heavy artillery. The stakes were personal. In 1667, a single defeat forced the Ahoms to pay 300,000 rupees and surrender 2 of their princesses as hostages. But after that humiliation, the Mughals hit a 70-year brick wall, launching 17 separate invasions that were all ultimately repelled. How exactly did the smaller Ahom kingdom manage to bleed out a global superpower and permanently break their eastern ambitions? They achieved this impossible victory through asymmetric warfare. The Ahom kingdom's greatest structural advantage was that they didn't rely on a traditional standing army. Their entire society was built for defense. They operated under the pike system. Adult males from every family were conscripted and organized into units, constantly rotating between tending to their agricultural duties and serving in the military. This meant the Ahoms could instantly generate a massive backup army of guerrilla fighters during wartime without risking the collapse of their local economy. Someone was always left behind to work the fields. This created an impossible math problem for the Mughals. They faced a population that remained productive while fighting, making it impossible to win the war through simple attrition. The Mughals relied heavily on their Turkish cavalry, which was specifically engineered to dominate open plains. Assam, however, is far from an open plain. The Ahoms intentionally avoided open battles, forcing the heavy Mughal horses to navigate thick, sticky mud, where they lost all their speed and power. During the 1662 invasion, led by Mughal commander Mir Jumla, the Ahoms built trenches and embankments to deliberately trap the water from monsoon floods. The Mughal cavalry was completely paralyzed in the marshy landscape. With the imperial forces physically trapped, Ahom strategists like Atan Burhagohain unleashed their specific doctrine of guerrilla warfare, known locally as Daga Judha. Daga Judha relied on extreme harassment. Ahom forces executed night raids, severed Mughal supply lines, and set brutal traps that destroyed ammunition depots, causing mass starvation and psychological terror in the imperial camps. The Ahoms completely weaponized the terrain itself. They converted the geography from a simple barrier into an active threat that slowly bled the Mughal war machine to death. This strategy of entrapment peaked during the climax of the conflict in 1671, the Battle of Saraighat. Here, Ahom general Lachit Borphukan identified the Mughals' fatal flaw: their navy. Borphukan used diplomatic negotiations to stall for time, intentionally retreating to a highly specific geographical bottleneck. He forced the Mughal fleet to meet them right where the Brahmaputra River drastically narrows. The Mughals operated massive, heavy galleons. These ships were incredibly clumsy and completely unsuited for navigating the tight, fast-moving currents of the narrowed river channel. In contrast, the Ahom warboats were smaller and highly maneuverable. They were built from a specific local wood that wouldn't sink even when overloaded, and were expertly steered by local boatmen who knew exactly how to ride the river's currents. By forcing the conflict into this tight naval choke point, the Ahoms neutralized the 30,000 infantry and 18,000 cavalry waiting uselessly on the riverbanks. It secured a miraculous victory against overwhelming odds. During that final engagement, Lachit Borphukan was deathly ill, yet he still personally led his Ahom forces onto the water, shattering the Mughal fleet and their morale. The final blow came a decade later at the 1682 Battle of Itakuli, an engagement that pushed the empire out of Assam forever. This 70-year endurance effectively stopped the region from being absorbed into the Mughal system. It meant the Ahoms never had to permanently surrender their wealth or people to imperial control, allowing the Assamese language and traditions to survive as a distinct frontier identity. The Ahom-Mughal conflict proves that overwhelming imperial numbers mean very little when a superpower is forced to fight on an enemy's turf, against a unified society entirely on their own terms.